why don't I take this opportunity to work on myself, to be an entrepreneur? If I don't want to go back and work for other people anymore, I have that mentality in my head. Why don't I come up with something that I can pursue? So we wanted to share our knowledge, our experience that a lot of Thai people don't know. You know, there's so many Thai people still don't know how to live healthily, physically and mentally.
Welcome to Fruit and Body Podcast with your host, Brendan. Today we have another legend of a guest. First time on the podcast. This is Pearl from the podcast Fitness in Common. Now, we're going to be discussing with Pearl today how she got this podcast started in Thailand. I think not only is it the #1 fitness podcast in Thailand, I also don't think there's a lot out there to compete with. So this is revolutionary content. And again, we know she has a big Thai audience, so I'm going to be introducing our English audience to Pearl, and we're going to learn all about her life and how she got into the fitness industry. Do not forget to like and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, that's great. If you're not, go do it now. We're waiting. Okay, we're good. So without further ado, let's get this podcast started. Thank you, Pearl, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We're going to jump right into it. Let my audience know who you are. Who is Pearl, where you're from, and what's your story?
Where do we start?
You can start off even from your childhood, and we'll build up from there. And if it gets too boring, we'll turn the Oscar music on, and we'll get it going a bit quicker.
Okay. So, a lot of people and a lot of my followers know me as like a spin instructor. So that's where I started as like a fitness instructor and in the fitness industry in Thailand. So I used to teach spin part-time and then later on full-time, and then it became a personal trainer and then teach a bar class, and then I taught in Hong Kong and then moved to Thailand during COVID. Yeah, basically.
And are you originally from Thailand?
I'm Thai, yes.
And from where in Thailand exactly?
Well, my hometown is called Suphanburi. Yes, but I moved to Bangkok since I was like about 14, 15 for my school. And then, basically Bangkok is home now. My sister is there. My parents still in my hometown, but I'm very close to my sister. So, yeah.
How did this all come together? You're studying at university. Were you going into health and sciences? What got you into fitness?
Well, it's kind of long story. So, in school, I actually like kind of like a nerdy one. Like I study, my major in university is actually finance. So I used to be good at math and all that stuff. And but basically my active lifestyle started when I was a kid. Basically, my dad into fitness a lot. He still work out until now, like he almost 70 now, and he's really fit, like fit dad. When he go to the gym, everyone was like, you look like 20 years younger and things like that. So I basically got inspired, or got, everything he taught is basically influenced me basically to be an active kid. And then, in school, I always find something to do, like during school break, like doing yoga and things like that kind of activity. And then when I graduated, I got an office job, and then in Thailand. And it's basically kind of changed the way I like in terms of like my lifestyle. I like to move a lot. I like to walk a lot or do something active. But when I got my first job, it was just like, oh shit, this is a lot of sitting down. It's like long hours sort of thing. I'm not get used to it. So I basically trying to find a solution of like, what can I do to solve this kind of problem? And my job was basically started from like 7 a.m. until like 7 p.m. minimum. So that was really, really long hours of sitting. So I found like a gym that I went with my colleagues and just, found some sort of break that we can go to. And I started to get back into a routine of fitness. And that's when I, really get into fitness basically. Yeah.
So you're able to kind of find this new passion and like most people, like even myself, when you jump out of university, maybe you get into a corporate job that doesn't inspire you. At which point can you recall when you're like, I need to make that transition. I need to do what I love.
Well, my first job, it was really stressful. And then I was like, by the year two, I started to questioning myself that like, is this a real passion? Is this something that I actually like? Even though it's something that I studied before in uni, but then it doesn't really, give me that fire of like that job or that passion. So I quit the job. And during that period of time is I have like about 6 months break because it's like some sort of competing contract that I can't work for another company.
And sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Let's give a timeline to the audience. What year are we at this point?
Oh my gosh. Well, this is 2023. So I'm thinking like 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
Like 8 years ago. Yeah. Anyway, so during those, 6 months time that I have like a break to think about what I should do with my life, with my career, I found this company that's, probably a lot of people know is called ClassPass now. But in the past, Southeast Asia, we have this company called GuavaPass. So it's basically like a membership that you can jump around gyms, like you're not tied up to one gym with one membership.
Worldwide or just Thailand?
Well, before it was Southeast Asia. So it's, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and But Class is got inspired from the US, the company called ClassPass. So it's the same concept. And now GuavaPass actually got bought by ClassPass. Yes. So I used that member and I bumped into a founder of GuavaPass Thailand on one event. And I was, chatted with her and things like that. And she was just like, we actually looking for a marketing person. Are you interested, like, to work for us? We start up. We don't really need some sort of experience, things like that. And I was just like, you know what? That's interesting. And I like the active sort of lifestyle. And, the job would give me that active lifestyle that I won't have to sit in the office the whole time. So it's kind of like makes sense at that time that, okay, I have, a marketing job plus I get to work out for free. So yeah. So that was the shift from office work to like entering myself into a fitness industry. Yeah.
Most people, when they're trying to transition maybe, their original career as they went to university and what they studied for, and you're able to make that move quite quickly instead of getting, stuck in the corporate ladder. When you finally got, let's say, your dream job of marketing, was it everything you hoped for? Or, were there some hidden things that maybe you weren't aware of? Or again, I guess the question is more like, was it what you were looking for? Did you find it?
Well, I think so. So when I shift to marketing, I found myself that like, wow, I surprised myself that I actually enjoy this job a lot. It's give me a lot of creativity. I still do marketing now, by the way. So it's really kicked in my brain that it helps me with creativity, works with a lot of people. I love socializing. I'm an extrovert. I like talking to people, things like that. So it's really helped. And it's really give me that fire again after I shift that job to marketing. And then working in fitness as well, I get to work with a lot of people all the time. So back then I had to work with the gym owners and like work with the trainers to come up with like a marketing content for them, how to promote their gyms to our members, things like that. So it's really fun and really, lit the fire in my soul to like work.
At least you can get out there again and you're not stuck behind the desk all day.
Exactly. So after that, it's kind of entering me to a fitness industry, like I said. And then later on, I found a passion of like, maybe I wanted to become an instructor, become, a fitness coach, because I got really into it. And then, I got myself a job as a part-time fitness coach and still working on my marketing job. But then, so later on, we moved to Hong Kong because of my husband's work. And that's when I actually shift my career to full-time fitness.
Were you able to still kind of use this GuavaPass to connect to other gyms in Hong Kong? Because you said it was Southeast Asia, or did you have to find something completely different?
It was kind of new. Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, so Hong Kong has had GuavaPass or ClassPass as well at that time that I moved, like about 4 or 5 years ago. So I used that as the customer to actually researching which gym am I going to work for them, basically. And connect with people in the sense was just, jumping around gym and just talking to people in that sense. Not really like deep down networking. Yeah.
What was your first job when you got into Hong Kong? Was it fitness instructor?
Yes.
And spin class specifically?
Yes. So spin, yes. So at that time there's only one spin studio, and this studio was like the first in Asia. So the concept is like, you're dancing on the bike. It's like Soul Cycle. I'm not sure whether you know Soul Cycle. So it's kind of, you're not just riding a bike. You basically ride to the beat of the music. So it's like clubbing, but you sweating basically. Like intense cardio, but lots of fun. Like, you go in there, when you stress, you release all your stress out. You just scream out loud, blah, blah, blah. So basically, there's only one studio in Hong Kong. So I applied my job there. I got that job. And I got my certification done before I moved to Hong Kong, like personal trainer and bar instructor. So bar is like a fitness class that you use a ballet bar to do a workout. So I basically taught 3 things when I was in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Now, most people, I lived in Shenzhen, so
Yes.
I understand Hong Kong very well. That was kind of where we would go on the weekends because, well, mainland China is a bit boring.
Okay.
Now, where were you living in Hong Kong? Were you on the island?
I was in a Kennedy Town.
Kennedy Town. Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Hong Kong Island.
Hong Kong Island, yes. The transition as a Thai female moving to Hong Kong, and especially we have an audience that's coming from the US, so they don't understand the difference between China, Hong Kong, Philippines, or Thailand.
Okay.
For them, it's kind of Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
But as a Thai woman moving to Hong Kong, how was the transition?
Well, it was really, to be honest, like Bangkok and Hong Kong is so different, to be honest. Or even like if compared to Phuket, is so different. Like Hong Kong is like high energy, super, super high energy. Everyone is like, work, work, work. Everything is money, money, money. It's business, even like as a fitness instructor, everything is so competitive. Hong Kong is like the east of New York, it's like the Asian version. Like everything is about money. People are aggressive and everything is competitive. Even, fitness coach, everyone would think, oh, it's like, a chill job, like artist sort of thing. No. Like in Hong Kong, we work. Like everyone would ask you, like, how many hours you train now? Only 2? Really? Things like that.
They try to add the pressure. And I'm assuming there's other people with an eye on you maybe trying to take your position.
Exactly. But it was good in a way that kind of motivate me to work harder. Like if you in Thailand, everyone is like got relaxing energy, especially in Phuket, I would say.
Sabai.
Yeah, basically. So in a sense, it's kind of good and bad, right? When you're trying to get job done, it's never gonna get done. It's gonna keep procrastinating because of the energy of the people that surround you. But when I was in Hong Kong, I'm surrounded by competitive people that work really hard, work hard for something, it's motivate me to work more. But later on, I got really burnt out. I teach a lot. I used to teach a lot. And my problem was like, I started to lose my voice, because I was working so hard and I never realized how hard I work, because I just want to work as much as I can. Because as a fitness instructor, you don't get paid when you go on a holiday. Mm-hmm. So I work hard I can take off for a month in Europe, for example, so I can have money and, expense to pay, clothing to
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah.
working your hours, you're getting paid for your hours. It's almost like
Yes.
freelance work at that level.
Exactly. So that was the energy. I kind of miss Hong Kong in a sense that I miss the energy of it. Sometimes I miss a little bit of city, the people and like the environment that like high energy and like really good for motivation for work, and you surrounded by really smart people
Did
basically.
Hong Kong change you when you came back? Did you find yourself bringing that competitive nature to Thailand?
Totally. When I came back, I basically I now moved to Phuket because I don't want to go back to Bangkok anymore after living in Hong Kong, because it's both city is the city, right? It's a city life. But after living in Hong Kong, I love how efficient things are. Public transportation is great. Pollution is like not that bad compared to Bangkok. Everyone is so efficient, things like that. And I started to dislike Bangkok. The only thing I would go back is for my people, my family, my friends. All my best friends are in Bangkok. So that's when my transition was just like, maybe if not Bangkok, where would I live? But it's kind of by accident that I got into, Phuket. It's during COVID basically. I couldn't go back to Hong Kong. I came here for a holiday.
Mhm.
And then it was like a 3 weeks quarantine all of a sudden if I go back to Hong Kong, and the hotels are packed for like the next 4 months. So I basically got stuck on the island on, beach life. Yay. So I didn't go back, and I fell in love with Phuket. Yeah.
And did you find that appreciation from not living in these cities? Yes, Phuket, it's quite quiet,
Yeah.
but there's still a lifestyle here.
Totally.
Did your mindset completely change during COVID?
Totally. It's kind of, at the beginning, it was like, oh, this is great, vacation life, beach life forever, like island life. At the beginning, it was like, great. I needed this break, right? I needed my voice to recover. I need my body to recover. And it's recovered for the first, like, I would say like 3, 4 months. It was great. And after that, I was just like, hold on a second. I need to do something with my life. Like, I can't live on my Hong Kong money forever. I need to do something with my life, and like I need to do something productive, because Phuket is like it's vacation island, right? Everyone come here for a holiday. So if I wanted here to be home, I need to find something productive. Yeah.
So what was that next step for you? I mean, I think we're probably jumping way too far ahead until we get
Yeah.
into fitness in common and the podcast. But before that all came together, what led you towards that?
Led me towards
Now,
productive life in
getting
Phuket.
into what you're doing now. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you've grown an Instagram following, you've grown a YouTube subscriber, like a lot of subscribers coming through there through the podcast. Walk us through the steps of how this all came together.
Well, it's kind of long story. So when I got stuck here, I started to thinking like, what should I do for a living, career wise? How can I grow if I don't want to go back and work for other people anymore? I have that mentality in my head that like, why don't I take this opportunity to work on myself, to be an entrepreneur when I can, when the opportunity is available for you? Why don't I come up with something that I can pursue? So the first thing was I came up with so many ideas that I wanted to do here, bring something that Phuket doesn't have from somewhere else. Um, and I end up doing super cliche thing. So my first thing was I sell now still my bikini brand called Kirati Kini. So that's what I'm doing now still. So I came up with that idea because I couldn't find the bikini that I like that can wear on a beach club and on a boat trip that I can look stand out, but the price is also approachable. So that's what I do. And then later on, it was just trying to find something else. What else can I do to stay here and make a living here? And I bumped into my friend called Ten. So Ten is actually from Bangkok. So he's my friend. You know, we've been friends for like 7, 8 years now, and he used to be my trainer basically. And I don't. I don't have a lot of friends here in Phuket. My dog has more friends than me.
Mine too, actually.
So 10 was like, when you bump into an old friend, you're in a new city, you started to catch up with each other and hang out more. And basically we catch up every week and we started talking about the same thing every week. We like interested in the same thing every week. So we started to do an ice bath together, and every week we went to an ice bath. We go to an ice bath together. We talk about what we're working on right now in terms of health and fitness. Like, what you do, what's your morning routine? What's your supplement right now? What's your fitness routine? What's your split now? So we started like chatting. And then we were like, should we do this on a podcast? And that was kind of like that moment, like light bulb moment that why don't we do this? Like not a lot of people do this, and we both love listening to podcasts, and we have this in common. And we took a long time thinking about the name, and it's so funny. Me and Ten, we only have fitness in common, nothing else. Honestly, I tried to like talk to him about like what do you like, movie wise or like food, or we have nothing in common except fitness. So that's where the name came from.
Now there's not a lot of competition out there for a Thai fitness podcast in Thailand. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're probably one of the first pioneers to kind of jump into this piece of content. Now, you guys are sitting down. Is it every week, every other week? How often are you actually producing this content?
We post every week, every Saturday. But sometimes we film every other week, or sometimes we just twice a week. Depends on our schedule. Yeah, but we try to produce as much as we can, and keep it consistent, like once a week when we post publicly.
I think to explain to the audience, because a lot of people might be watching this and they'll go, "Oh, that's great. I'd love to start a podcast as well." I think we need to be the bearer of bad news. Let's talk about building your first podcast and a general overview. It's expensive.
It is.
It's expensive and it's time consuming. So now we were discussing before, you're lucky you had some equipment.
Yeah.
You're still upgrading and growing. But correct me if I'm wrong, at Tang, he's also involved in the video production as well.
Yes.
So if you don't have certain pieces, it could be very challenging.
Very, very. So when we first decided, okay, we're going to start a podcast together, we were thinking, okay, this makes sense because I'm in marketing. I know how to do good content. So I'm a back end person, basically. I'm a sponsor reach out person. I connect people. So I'm a social media manager, basically. And he's a production guy. So we were like, this makes sense. We a great combination, and we have a content that we want to produce. So that's our advantage, I would say. Because if I don't have him, I have to hire a whole, high budget sort of production team to film a podcast, because I have no idea how to do that. And if he doesn't have me, he has no idea how to do like SEO, how to do social media, how to produce, good content without,
how to distribute that content.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so he's an execution guy in terms of, visual and everything, but I'm the back end lady, basically.
So what you don't have in common there, kind of the synergy is perfect.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Interesting.
So yeah.
What was the intention of the podcast? Do you have an end goal, or was it, let's have some fun, let's make some content and just see what happens?
Well, the purpose and the goal of starting it is because we wanted to share our experience. The concept was 2X fitness coach sharing our experience from what we did in the past and what we experiment, what good, what bad, from our own opinion, from our own experience that we wanted to share to the world. And I think health and fitness in Thailand is very narrow in a sense. Like people have certain mindset towards things. Like this this is the way to lose weight. This is the way to, get healthier. There's so many misconcepts in Thailand, in Thai health and fitness industry. So we wanted to share our knowledge, our experience that a lot of Thai people don't know. So that was our main goal, that we wanted to improve everyone's life. And that's why we wanted to do in Thai as well, because, there's so many Thai people still don't know how to live healthily, physically and mentally.
Yeah, I've had discussions with health and fitness coaches and discussing the current diet of Thais as well, and how things have really drastically changed in the past 100 years, especially with, additives, preservatives, these types of sauces that maybe were more organic 100 years ago, and everything's changed. I want to jump into your thoughts on the standard Thai diet and the reality that people don't understand from the Western world. A lot of people will look at Thailand and say, it's so healthy, the food, it's amazing for you. But the reality is a lot of it isn't. Now, before we jump into that question, we're going to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine. Now, 5 Star Marine, they're helping sponsor this podcast. They're doing all this production. They're making this happen on a week-to-week basis for you. They are a private speedboat tour company on the island of the Phuket. If you want your own speedboat tour of wherever you want to go to PP, you want to go to Krabi, you want to go to Phang Na, you can decide that with them instead of getting stuck on these islands, maybe with a lot of Russian and Chinese tourists taking all these pictures, and it's just going to be jammed and crammed. So go check out 5 Star Marine, link in our description, or find them on Instagram at 5 Star Marine Phuket. And now we're going to get back to the main meat of that question, no pun intended, the food in Thailand. Yeah. Let us know. Again, most people, papaya salad, it's healthy, but what is the sauce they're putting on? Can you walk us through your thoughts on the current situation of Thai cuisine?
So there's a lot of misconception or like perception that everyone think Thai food is so healthy because it's so much vegetable and like so much fruit. How are you gonna get fat by that? But if you look at the statistics of Thai people, we have really high rate of obesity because of the sugar level of everything in the street food, or basically. So I cook a lot and now when I go out and eat, street food, my tongue was just like, wow, this is so sweet. Yeah.
How are you constantly saying my wan? And if you go and get let's say I keep it simple, a pad thai from the street food lady, are you saying my wan? Are you telling them what not to put in it?
I do. Sometimes I was just like, can you not put MSG in
How do you say that in Thai? MSG.
Phong churot.
Phong churot. I get this word all the time, and then you forget. I speak fairly good Chinese.
Yep.
And I always have this saying, like when people ask, like, you forget these words, and I bring it back to like a word like balloon.
Uh-huh.
You use it like once, and then the next time you go to use it, you completely forget because you've only used it that one time. And this word with MSG, I always forget. And I'm watching them when they're cooking. I want to be like, no, don't put that in.
And that is a MSG?
You can see it, MSG or sugar. It looks very similar. But it's a little bit more fine, so you know when they're putting it in. A lot of the shops do it around here. Why do they put MSG into the food? Is it that umami taste to it, or what is the reason?
It is. It's just easier to make food, basically, and it's just addictive to bring people back to your restaurant, basically. Yeah.
And it's just tricking the mind that this is a good taste. And
yes. So funny thing, I saw an Instagram reel the other day that a boy trying to make a Thai food, and he posted all his Thai recipe that he cooked at home, and there's one dish he cooked som tam basically, and he put an MSG on social as well. Like he put that, and so many comments. It was just like, that's so authentic. Yes.
It's very authentic in Thai.
Yeah. So it's a lot of perception that Thai food is healthy, but it's actually not. I posted about this before on one episode on Fitness in Common about Thai food, like how can we eat healthier? Because most of the people was just like, and how am I gonna have time to cook for myself if I want to get healthier, if I want to eat healthier? if I don't have time, what do I do? If I have to eat outside all the time, or if I'm in the office and this is what available for me, what should I do? So there's an option that you can, if you go to a restaurant, you can tell them, oh, no MSG, less sweet. And you can always focus on eating more protein, trying to hunt for that protein, basically.
When you're cooking at home, you're still cooking Thai dishes and you're just not putting in, let's say, the junk. Walk us through, like, what is your standard go-to lunch meal that you're always consistently cooking? You can go to that and there's going to be success.
Well, I cook a lot of grapao for sure. Yeah. And my grapao, the street food grapao tastes so different because mine doesn't have a lot of sugar and doesn't have a lot of MSG. And sometimes it's just like, why is my grapao not tasty like the one on the street? And then, I figure out they put a lot of other stuff in it.
Yeah. And it probably has a more like a vegetable taste to it. You're using a lot of basil as well in it. Mm-hmm. Now, for yourself and moving forward with your podcast and doing this content and getting involved in the marketing side, do you have even a bigger plan for it besides the education? Do you plan to monetize it? For anyone that wants to understand, well, why do these people do podcasts? What the hell are they going to get out of it?
Yeah. So the long-term plan, so I wanted to build more on a interview side as well. So right now we don't have an interviewing yet. So it's just us two. So later on we will introduce, some sort of interview content. So we wanted to invite interesting guests that in health and fitness and wanted to share their knowledge and their experience on the podcast. So we have much bigger knowledge pool basically to share with our audience. And to make money, I guess, we need to find sponsor that, find us interesting and wanted to support us. So that's the plan.
Okay, maybe we'll. Hey, 5-Star Marine, go check them out. They're sponsoring us. Sean Stenning, he's a good friend. He's been on the podcast a couple times. And even from what they're telling us from their side, the podcast and sponsoring YouTube content creators, it's the best avenue because your content can live forever. Instagram, TikTok, this stuff dies after 48 hours. So you can work on, like, we're always creating reels and content like this. I put like just enough effort into it because you don't want to put 9 hours into a reel. The thing's going to die in 24 anyways.
Totally. Yes.
What are your thoughts on that and this type of content creation? Where do you see yourself thriving the most, and where do you like to focus?
Focus on like
in terms of, do you know how like Instagram reel content, it's fun, it's easy, it's quick, you can be creative to make that. Do you enjoy being in that world, or do you enjoy making the long form podcast content?
I actually enjoy doing long form a lot, like long form content. I think it's more, and I think long form is more sustainable and long term and more valuable to everyone. When I wanted to find something or I'm curious about something, I always find it on YouTube or a podcast that, when I go for a run or I wanted to learn about something new, I always look for long form content. Instagram Reel is great if you go viral, or like TikTok, if you go viral. It's great. It's nice to see those numbers. It's nice to see new followers, million views, but it's not sustainable. And it's always gonna it's some sort of like a drug as well, in not a good way. So when you get really viral, you really famous, you want more. You're like, what can I do more to get that million views again? And is it actually valuable to people? You see so many like stupid TikTok that just went viral for no reason, and you wonder why, and you wonder like, what am I doing wrong as like a valuable content creator that you wanted to share a good content, but you're not getting viral and you're not getting good views, and you started to question yourself, and it's not good for your mental health either. Yeah,
you start chasing maybe what the algorithm is dictating as well.
Exactly.
And then are you really doing it for yourself, or are you pleasing others?
Yes.
As well.
So right now we're trying to like share good content that, short, even the short content, we're trying to keep it like it gives a little bit of value or at least a motivation for people to go do something for their health, not just like a stupid reel that going to get viral. So we wanted to produce valuable content basically, and I think, you know, this sort of thing has to come from passion and has to come from what you want to give to people and what is your purpose, what is your goal, and that gonna keep you going, gonna keep you doing it for long term, and money will follow.
There's a saying, be careful what you wish for. And as you grow, so does the community. And if you have 1,000 nice people in a room, there's always going to be one not so nice person.
Yes, totally.
Your first encounter with these trolls, these people, maybe it's in comments on YouTube or comments on Instagram. How do you deal with them? Are you ignoring it all? And I think a lot of people say they can't and they read them all and they don't. And others like me, I might toy around with them, but I don't take it personal. I actually have some fun. How do you handle them?
Well, at the beginning, I was so emotional. I took it really personally. The first clip we posted, so many people was just attacking like how much I say in the clip. And I was just like, what? It's just like a stupid comment. It was just like so much in that clip. And then I when I first started, I read every comment. And this is why it's a good combination, because I'm a feminine person, you know, female, and then 10 is a male person. So we kind of like balance the energy, and 10 was just like, you know, you shouldn't read everything. You know, don't take it personally. And this is, so right now I'm kind of take it easy and just like, you know, if someone commented really badly, just ignore them. There's haters everywhere, and just focus on the positive. So when everyone says something nice and, you know, you're so inspiring, thank you for this content, you know, so thankful that there's this sort of channel in Thailand now, things like that. So I reply to those comments and I look for the positive more than the negative.
After you heard that, I'm saying too much. Sometimes I do as well. Sometimes I do funny things with my hands.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just don't care. I never go back and rewatch these podcasts because I was there. I did it. A lot of I know people. I had a friend that said he rewatched the podcast 4 times. I'm like, why? You were there. But back to my question, when you read that comment, the comment, and you went and did your next podcast, mentally were you focused on not saying it?
Yes.
And then how long? Sorry, continue.
So our first episode, we didn't wear headphones, so I didn't know what I'm saying. So I didn't know the unnecessary words that I said. I was not conscious about it. So we trying to keep improving from the comments as well, that to make it more constructive. But when it's like a comment that they disagree with our opinion, I was just like, well, I just said that this is a podcast that is from our experience, from our opinion. We're not doctors. We're not PhD. This is not facts, right? It's from the experience that we wanted to share to you. So if you're going to judge it, everyone's going to judge you in what you do in your life. Like, I used to teach spin and now I enjoy lifting weight. People be like, why are you doing that? Why do you want to look so bulky? Everyone's going to judge you every step of your life. You just have to stand your ground and know what you're doing, what's your purpose, what's your goal, and do your best. Yeah, at that moment in your life.
Yeah, well, there's a quote. I forget who said this. I can't remember, but it was basically along the lines is you'll never find a hater doing better than you. So it is what it is, and you kind of just brush it off your shoulders as well. I want to jump into the fitness side of your supplement regimen.
What? Okay.
I know this is we've taken a turn, and we're almost going to wrap it up. Probably. What time are we at? 40 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. See, it goes so fast, and when it's interesting, and you want to ask these questions, it's hard to, the YouTube gods, they want to keep it shorter, so we'll keep it under an hour. Have you shared a lot of this information with your audience? They might ask you, Pearl, what is your supplement regimen? What are you taking? What should I be taking? Let us know what you're taking now and why you're taking it.
Well, it sounds like it might be a long list, but it's actually not a lot. So I take only the things that I think is useful for me. So protein powder for sure to help me reach the protein goal per day. So some people said that you don't really have to, drink whey or protein shake to reach your protein intake. But for me, it helps me if I don't eat enough protein powder really help me. Secondly, I use moringa powder now. So moringa is like a superfood. It's like a sort of a green powder. It has antioxidants, has lots of vitamins. It helps with your digestion. It lowers your blood sugar. So that's two things. What else? MCT oil. Sometimes I take creatine, but not at the moment. And fish oil, magnesium, zinc, vitamin D. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm along the same lines. And over time, a lot of supplements, they try to sneak in and then, you buy them for that month and then you kind of forget about them. I think I was taking like a
collagen.
Collagen.
Well. Yes.
Are you doing the collagen powders?
Collagen powder.
How are you doing the moringa powder?
Powder.
It's very delicious.
Yeah? You like it?
No, it is not.
It's not delicious.
No. But moringa, it's famous in Africa. A lot of Africans take moringa because they can't afford to see the doctors. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, they don't get colds, they don't get sick. They're taking, and people need to understand that like moringa capsules, you can't just take moringa capsules because you need so much. Mm-hmm. You need about, I think, 5 to 10 grams, which 5 grams is a tablespoon. So are you putting that in water and chugging it back, or how are you taking it?
Usually I put in like 2 teaspoons only for myself in the smoothie. So I can't really taste it at all.
So you're masking it with everything else in there as well?
Yeah, in a smoothie basically. And then at night I just have all my capsule, like the fish oil, the vitamin D, magnesium, help with my sleep, things like that. Yeah.
This is kind of a segue into that as well. When you're living in Hong Kong, we're doing mushroom supplements, but a big one from China and Hong Kong is something called lingzhi or reishi. Did you ever come across any medicinal mushrooms, or especially with it trending now? It's more trending in the US. I think it's just starting in Thailand. What are your thoughts? Have you heard anything about different types of medicinal mushrooms?
I don't really have much comments on that. I haven't tried it myself, but I heard it helped with like focus. Things like that. Yes. So I would love to try it one day.
We'll give you some after the show. You can give it a test. I think there's a lot of a psychedelic stigma attached to it. That's the number one question we get all the time. Can I take this on the plane while I go to jail? It's like, no, it's just a natural mushroom. There's nothing attached to it at all.
You're not gonna get trippy.
No. It's kind of the best way to explain it is psychedelic mushrooms are just one type of a mushroom. But we also have button mushrooms that you're going to get at the grocery store, right?
Yes.
It's another type. Are you going to trip eating mushrooms at night cooking? No, you're not. So medicinal mushrooms, they're another form of mushroom as well. Actually, lion's mane is delicious. You can buy it. There's a place called Mushroom World. Mm-hmm. They grow their lion's mane there. It's kind of got like a crab texture to it. And when you fry it with onion, it's phenomenal, unreal stuff. The other ones are like reishi, but it's kind of a hard conch to it. So you're going to need to put it in tea. And this stuff, again, is helping more with the immune system. But the lion's mane, this one is the best by far. This one is promoting nerve growth factor. So it's basically stimulating the mind and helping with memory recall, which I personally find helps a lot in Thailand because I'll be speaking to non-native English speakers. And finally, when you go back and call your mom, I need to speak English. And all of a sudden, I start to forget vocabulary. I don't know if you face this like living in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Because you're probably speaking English most of the time.
Yes.
When you went back to speak Thai, you might be forgetting a lot of the words that you were comfortable with.
Yeah.
This is what lion's mane's doing as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah. There's studies on it. So it's not this, I'm very like analytical, like show me the data.
Yep.
Instead of just this pseudoscience snake oil salesman type of stuff as well.
And it helps with your productivity as well?
Well, we're using, I'll explain that after the podcast because I've bled my audience's ears enough because I'm so passionate about it. I want to, as an entrepreneur, Most entrepreneurs will come to the table and they will say, I want freedom. I want my own personal freedom. I want to build a product that gives me the freedom. I don't think that way. I think I want to give something to the world that they don't know about, and I want to educate the world. The freedom and the money is secondary. That will come. But if your primary is helping others, that should be the goal. And I hear so many entrepreneurs say this over and over again, like, okay, I'm getting into selling whatever they're selling. And that's always, why are you doing it? And it's always, it comes from an I perspective. But when you put people first, the money and freedom will come, I truly believe as well. So that's kind of why my intentions behind it. I want to build products that I personally want, and I want to share that information with everyone else because I think they should know it and they're going to have to learn. No, I'm joking. Before we wrap this up, now you've grown at exponential growth, specifically on YouTube, getting over 10,000 subscribers. When you started at zero, those endorphins are flying around. Can you specifically recall the day where things just 10x'd, and how did you react to that?
Well, it started from Instagram, actually. That one clip of me saying, getting up in the morning, working out in the morning is the most difficult thing ever. But once you got yourself up and working out and you got that done, is such a win. It's such a rewarding thing. It's such an achievement. That's that clip went so viral. Because everyone was just like, I can relate to that. It's fucking hard to get up and go to the gym. But once you get that done, it's you feel fresh the whole day. You feel like a winner the whole day. And I think it's something that people want to hear. That people were like, I don't want to go to the gym today. But they're looking at that clip and they were just like, yeah, I want to go and get something done and, feel like a winner the whole day.
And this drove the traffic over to they are able to come over.
Yes. So that was the first clip that went viral. And then the second one, I was talking about the body image, basically, that every Thai girl's trying to achieve a certain body image. You want to look skinny like Davika or a certain Thai celebrities. And I was just saying that you cannot achieve anybody body. You have to be the better version of yourself. Trying to give them a perception of achieving a certain body image is just not good for your mental health. So that was the second clip that went viral. And those short clips are doing great for us. And then people were like, where can I find your channel? Where can I listen to this long form? Where is it? So that's when we started to gain audience more. I was just like, oh, this is our YouTube. We have a Spotify as well. We have an Apple podcast as well. So we are everywhere. But like you said, people have such a short span of attention. So many people now still think that what we do is just short clips. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we get that. We have a clips channel. Do you have a clips channel on YouTube as well yet? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a clips channel as well, and we get comments all the time like, why did you do this podcast in this clip format? We're like, no, this is a clips channel. There's actually the main one over here as well.
Yes.
You're telling me before you're listening to a lot of podcasts in the morning, especially if you're going for an hour walk or somewhere. Who inspires you?
Well, so my current podcast that I love listening are...
Besides us. Definitely not.
I love Modern Wisdom by Chris Williamson and Diary of CEO by Stephen, and Huberman Lab, and what else? Peter Attia. Yeah.
Peter Thiel?
Peter Attia.
Peter. Okay, I'm not sure who he is.
His podcast called The Drive, I think. Yeah.
Are you primarily listening to English podcasts or Thai? No Thai podcasts out there.
I listen to Thai podcasts sometimes, but once in a while. Yeah.
Is there a major difference between the content in Thai compared to the English? Is the message they're providing something you can connect to, or why are you not listening to it as frequent?
I prefer English content in a sense that there's no voice interruption or no sound interruption, I would say. Like a sound effect, things like that.
So like, because I guess like Thai YouTube channels where they're always
Yes.
So they do that on the podcast as well.
There are some, I can't remember exactly, but there's some podcasts that I listened to it before and there was just some sort of sound transition. And I was just like, what's that? Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I never, obviously I haven't listened to any. My Thai it's okay. It's not the greatest.
But there are some good ones for sure. There's some good ones. And I should listen to more of those to understand the market more. Yeah.
Do you ever listen to your own back?
Yes.
Often or?
Listen to
your own podcast.
Yeah. I do. I actually have to because I have to come up with the short content. Okay. So I have to pick up what is good from the long form. So I end up listening to everything.
Okay.
At least one time.
See, what I do is I timestamped one of my YouTube videos and it took like 4 hours and I'm like, I'll never do this again. So I outsourced the time stamping to a friend and he'll go, sorry, you have to watch this. He's probably watching right now. I'm like, sorry, buddy. Anyways, so he'll watch it and he'll timestamp it for YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then what I will do is I just kind of trust his timestamps. I will just take a screenshot using WeChat and I'll just take an arrow and port arrow to like maybe like 6 clips and that will go to the clips channel. And I send that to the production team and then I'll put a box around the ones that are reels. Then it's done. Then they just go do it and it comes in. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, watching it back. I mean, I don't even, if anyone's even watching this, that's great as well. Good for you guys. Just before we wrap this up, and again, thanks a lot for joining us today. I want to shoot this back to maybe a message for your audience of future content, what's coming up and what are your plans for the next month and what can they expect to see?
So we have a lot of supplement episodes that coming up. We haven't really shared fully about what we're taking. And the benefits of those supplements that we're taking. And we have an ice bath episode because everyone know that we love doing ice bath weekly and we post all the time on our personal Instagram. So that's coming up for sure. What's the benefit and why we're doing it on a regular basis.
Would you actually do a podcast in the ice bath?
No, we didn't.
I've done ice baths before, but there's Lemonade Club. They're not that cold like these ones. I mean, they're like 10 degrees.
Okay.
And then at Bang Tao Muay Thai MMA yesterday, they actually had like a legit one, like 3 bags of ice. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I lasted like 15 seconds.
You have to stay at least 30 seconds and it's gonna get easier. You have to force yourself to stay in there at least 30 seconds.
Can you get ice burns? And is it there must be a little bit of danger if you're too long, no?
Well, I never put myself for longer than, I would say, 6 minutes. Even though I can stay longer, I never actually push myself to stay longer. Because actually, if you stay longer than 15 minutes, it doesn't really benefit you anymore. It's the same as like 15 or an hour. It's the same. You don't have to be showing off that, I've in the bath for an hour.
I was definitely not showing off at all. Everyone, like, I jumped in. I'm like, I'm going to get there. What I found right away is I get a lot of knee pain.
Yeah.
Because I do pretty like heavier squats. I mean, kind of massive. No.
Okay.
But I'm doing heavier squats. So I get a lot of knee pain. And when I jumped in that ice bath, I felt so much pain go to the knee.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming it's the inflammation and it's actually probably helping with it.
Yes. That's normal.
I was only in for 20 seconds, maybe 30, let's say, if I'm lucky. When I got out and I went home and I sat down, usually when I sit down, I got to use my hands because my knees are killing me.
Yeah.
The pain was all gone.
Yes.
I was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm sold on the ice baths now. Yeah.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to shoot it back to this big camera here for Pearl. If you can just let everyone know where they can find you on YouTube and Instagram, all your socials, and all 8 people watching our podcast right now will come follow you.
So you can follow me on Pearl Kirati, and Fitness in Common is my channel. 10 channel is our podcast together. Fitness in Common on Instagram, YouTube, and all the podcast channel. And I have a physical store if you want to shop for my bikini in Phuket, as well as called Swim and Gym in Rawai.
Perfect. I will take all that information. We'll put the links in the description. We'll chop this all up into reels. And yeah, you guys can enjoy it from there. So that ends another episode of Fruiting Body Podcast. Thanks a lot, Pearl, for joining us.
Thank you.
And I never know how to end these. We're out.